Hey everyone, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stories like this deserve to be shared. I never thought a simple dinner at our own table could unravel everything I believed about us. That night started like any other Friday evening. The soft hum of the ceiling fan blended with the clinking of silverware against plates. I poured 2 glasses of wine, the rich red catching the dim light, and smiled at him across the table. Caleb, my husband, my safe harbor. Or at least, that's what I thought. He was staring at his food, jaw tight, hands fidgeting with his fork like it carried all the answers he didn't know how to ask for. And then, of course, my best friend came up. Jared, tall, charming, with a laugh that always got under Caleb's skin. I noticed it the first time, too, how Caleb's gaze lingered longer than polite, how his voice would drop on my text from Jared buzz on my phone. I thought it was silly jealousy, nothing more. So, I said, swirling my wine casually, still feeling threatened by Jared? I laughed lightly, letting the question hover in the air like a spark I knew might ignite something. Caleb's eyes flicked up, cold and unreadable. I'm not threatened, he said slowly, but his voice cracked just enough to reveal the tension he was bottling. I rolled my eyes, leaning back in my chair, almost enjoying the power in the room. Come on, babe. He's my best friend. You really think he's more than that? I let the words hang there, playful but sharp. Caleb didn't answer immediately. Instead, he glanced at my phone when it buzzed on the table. My fingers brushed it casually. A message from Jared. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, winking face. I smirked and read it aloud, thinking it would amuse Caleb. But instead, his hand trembled as he set down his fork, a faint shadow passing over his expression. The wine glinted in his glass as he stared at me, unblinking, the silence in the room suddenly heavier than the walls around us. I thought I understood him. I thought I knew our limits. But that night, under our own warm lights and familiar smells, I realized I might have been wrong. Something unspoken had shifted, and I couldn't tell if it was fear, anger, or the first whispers of betrayal. And then he said something I wasn't prepared for. Something that made the fork in my hand feel suddenly foreign. Now, Caleb's voice was quiet, almost measured, but it hit harder than any shout could. Do you really think I'm blind? I froze mid-laugh, mid-swirl of wine. The clatter of the fork against my plate seemed deafening in that moment. Blind? What do you mean? I tried to sound casual, but my chest tightened. I see the texts. I hear the messages. I notice the way he makes you light up. His eyes didn't waver from mine. There was no anger in them, just a cold, raw hurt that made my stomach twist. I've tried to laugh it off, to tell myself it's nothing, but it isn't nothing to me. I blinked, trying to process. Caleb, it's just Jared. He's my friend. You're overthinking. You don't get it, he interrupted, voice sharper now, trembling with something I didn't want to admit I caused. It's more than friendship. I've seen the way you text him when I'm at work. I've seen the way you hide your phone, smile at a message you wouldn't show me. And tonight you mocked me for being jealous. You made me the joke at our own dinner table. I felt a prickling at the back of my neck, a slow burn of panic. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. I wanted to defend myself, to laugh it off, but his eyes held something dangerous, a kind of heartbreak I hadn't seen before. And then the phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't Jared. It was Caleb's own phone lighting up a notification. A message from a number I didn't recognize. His face tightened as he read it, and I caught a glimpse of it over his shoulder. She's alone tonight. Come over. Red heart. My heart dropped. My own stomach turned as the weight of the implications settled in. He had been keeping secrets, too. And suddenly, all the times I had dismissed his glances, his questions, his quiet anger, they weren't paranoia. I opened my mouth, trying to speak, but the words died in my throat. The room seemed to shrink around us, the soft in the fan now a sinister drone. My laughter, my teasing, all of it had been a mask, a game I thought I controlled. But Caleb's hand trembled as he set his phone down, and his eyes, filled with hurt and something darker, locked on mine. I realized then that our little world, the jokes, the dinners, the wine, the soft music, had been built on unspoken truths and half-hidden lies. And in that moment, I understood that nothing would ever feel safe or familiar again. He finally whispered, voice low and hollow, "I don't know who I'm married to anymore." The words hit me like ice water. "You don't know who you're married to?" I repeated, my voice shaking, the wine glass suddenly too heavy in my hand. The clinking on the table sounded like a warning bell. Caleb leaned back, eyes shadowed and tired. "I trusted you. I believed every word, every laugh, every moment we shared was real. And now..." His hands clenched into fists, the knuckles white against the table. Now I'm not sure if any of it ever was. I opened my mouth, trying to explain, but the words were empty. The playful smirk I thought would soften him had vanished. He wasn't just hurt, he was fractured, and I could feel it. Every joke I had made about Jared, every careless flirtation, every hidden text, all came crashing down in that single, suffocating moment. "Caleb, Stop," he said, voice low, deadly calm. "I don't want excuses. I want the truth. All of it. And I'm afraid of what I'll find." I swallowed, feeling the weight of my own mistakes pressed down on me like a boulder. My phone buzzed again, but this time I didn't reach for it. Nothing on that screen mattered compared to the raw, open wound sitting across from me. I didn't mean for anything to happen. I admitted, tears pricking at my eyes. "Jared, it was just texting, flirting. I didn't think you'd feel..." Caleb's laugh was sharp, hollow, a sound I'll never forget. "You didn't think I'd feel jealous? Or betrayed? Or like the person I trusted most in the world was slipping away under my own roof?" His voice cracked, and for a moment, I thought he might break entirely. I reached for his hand, desperate, but he pulled back. The warmth between us, the safety, the love, the trust, it was gone, replaced by this icy realization that we had both built our walls of secrecy and laughter, and neither of us knew how to tear them down. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered finally. "I don't know if I want to." And as he rose from the table, leaving his untouched plate and the half-drunk wine behind, I realized the truth. Some betrayals aren't loud. They don't explode with accusations or scandals. Some sneak in quietly, in texts and smirks, in the casual jokes we think don't matter. And sometimes, the damage they leave is more permanent than we ever imagined. I watched him go, heart pounding, and knew that we were standing on the edge of a love that might never recover. If you ever felt this kind of heartbreak, this betrayal, or the weight of secrets in a relationship, comment below and share your story. And don't forget to subscribe for more real, emotional stories like this.